So I'm back again. I haven't done a quilting video in quite a while. It's been a month, I'm sure it's been a month. But I have been doing a few little projects, mostly with these leftover strips in sort of neutral colors. So there's a few bright colors in there. There's a yellow one I see, and there's one that's got a little bit of green and blue and stuff. But anyway, I've been taking the strips and I've been sort of laying them out in 3.5 to 4 inch pieces. And what I've been doing with them is sewing them onto strips of paper and making rolls of fabric. And usually, what I do, I just have a piece of paper on a roll, and I sew so that the ends of the fabric come over the edges of the paper, and then I can trim them off, and then I just roll up the finished roll, and I can store them neatly and use them for bindings or use them for borders or use them for using in a quilt. So with this pile right here, they're mostly neutral colors. So I've been adding a strip of the sewed together rolls. Cut a strip 12.5 inches. This particular one is all Christmas fabric, but I'm putting a strip down the center of each of the blocks and then squaring off the blocks. And what I'm doing with them then is sewing them together, and this time I'm using just a zigzag because I only have enough of the Christmas fabric to do 36 blocks. That was the end of that particular lot of fabric that I had. So it will be a 6 by 6 inch, or a 6 block wide and a 6 block length, making it a square when it's finished. And it will have 6 rows of 6 squares, making a zigzag, and it will be quite a cute little quilt. So 6 times 8 is 48. It'd be about 46.5 inches square when it's done, which is good for a little Christmas quilt for a baby or a lap quilt for a senior. It would be really nice for somebody in a wheelchair for Christmas. That would be great. So that's what I'm doing with those. I'm just sewing them together now, and I'll just quilt them with a diagonal row of quilting. I'll put a piece of Christmas fabric on the back and a piece of batting inside, and maybe I'll use some more of these as the binding. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with the binding. But anyway, that's what I'm working on now. Well, here I am. I've finished sewing all the pieces together. I have 6 rows of 6 squares, and I have sewn them all together, and now I am in the process of quilting, machine quilting. And when I do the machine quilting, I usually just do straight row stitching. I was going to diagonal stitch across the diagonal, but I decided to do parallel to one of the edges. And here I am just showing you how I add the spacer bar that I have as an attachment to my sewing machine. And that piece of metal, the curved metal, can be, I can slide it in and out so that I can use a different width of stitching. And it's really quite easy to keep a nice, straight, even row of machine quilting using that. And I can also attach it on the other side so that when I sort of do halfway across the quilt, I take out the space bar then and put it on the other side, and I start working from that position to the other end of the quilt, and that way I can quilt the whole quilt from the center out and from the center out on the other way. It's really quite an easy thing to do. And I use my walking foot so that it's easy to glide across the fabric. And this is such a small quilt. It's a easy thing to work on. And here it is all finished. I have machine quilted it and I have added the binding. So it is really quite a pretty little quilt, Christmassy in nature because the triangles were Christmassy, and I added a nice Christmas print to the back of it. And it's going to be donated to one of the charities our guild uses. Bye.